What's up, legends? Welcome back to the Demo Cast. My name's Jack. Here with my co-host Alex. What's going on, man?
Mate, just happy to be here today. Feeling zesty, feeling alive.
Nice. That wasn't funny. I don't know why you laughed at that. I don't have anything to say.
Cool. So I'll just start steamrolling it. Swear jars here, couple IOUs in that at the moment because we went to go get money out and forgot our cards. Can you get money out using your phone?
I'm not sure.
Heard it here first, guys. We're not sure. Sorry, what I want to talk about on this one, and I've given a brief summary to you because it's the start of the next season. How we started the first season was like goal setting. What are you doing? How are you doing? What can you do better? Thought might be a good time if we feel comfortable mentioning what we potentially had bombed from last year's goals as well. I've got some for that. And like what we want to work on, if we're working on anything, and like, is your structure of setting goals still as hateful as what you always say it is?
I kind of hate whenever we talk about goal setting because I feel like I'm really bad at it. And I always say that I don't have any goals and I don't know how to set them. And I kind of feel the same. But I think I haven't really locked down specifically what like goals I'm kind of going after this year. But I definitely have a different approach to goal setting this year, for sure. I can elaborate, or do you want to take it back?
I would like some elaboration in a bit though, but yeah, I agree. My approach to it is a bit more linear this year. I feel like last year I was very like everything was still fun and new. Like we're 3 months shy of a year on the podcast. Sleeper's 7 months in. And I've taken on another little venture on the side as well. But definitely I'm in that phase of like pumped every day. I'm like, yeah, let's go. Let's get after it. So I'm at that fun phase. So there's a dip coming soon. But in saying that though, I feel like I'm at that fun stage because I've just come out of a dip of all this is hard. But with that dip comes clarity for me as well. Like I could take a step back and be like, this is too much, this is not enough, and sort of juggle from that. But give us some more insight on yours.
So I feel like I'm kind of reiterating myself a little bit from the first 2 episodes. I feel like a lot of this stuff I've already kind of touched on a little bit. But regardless, I think one of the bigger things that I want to kind of work on this year is have my goals be input based, not output based. So, for example, before this, we were saying that like we want to hit 30 episodes out on the podcast this year. That's our input, is that we want to do 30 episodes. That's the work that we're putting into it. Where an output-based goal would be, like, for example, we wanted to hit 1,000 subscribers. Because you don't really have control over whether you hit 1,000 subscribers or not. Like, where we can control how many episodes we record. So I think a lot of things like that, I need to have a sit down and kind of work out a bit of a schedule because I want to hit, there will be X amount of videos that I want to hit for my personal YouTube. I want to push a lot of stuff in the direction of YouTube. I think YouTube is still the king of social media, especially for video content. And a lot of what I do currently lives almost purely on Instagram. I do push stuff over to Shorts. I push a little bit of stuff onto TikTok, but like it's very like half done. So yeah, really want to like steer in the direction of YouTube. I think that's where like being serious as a content creator and like growing a following and doing all that stuff, like that's kind of the place to do it. I still think that that's the king.
Is it the king because it requires the most in it? Like it's not as easy as a 30-second thing you put up and move away from. Not by any means are the things you put up a 30-second thing. But it's generally more like movie length or like feature length videos and stuff that go on there.
Yes and no, because you still have the shorts feed as well. So still very much like Instagram style content. I want to push in the direction of YouTube and just live on YouTube Shorts. I think just the support that YouTube gives to creators and the analytics that you get and the feedback you get and monetization and all of that stuff, I think just, YouTube just has that stuff dialed. They give the most, from what I see anyway, they're giving the most back to creators. And I think it's just a really good platform, I guess, to kind of like have your online presence live.
Yeah, I would agree definitely on what it gives back. The YouTube Studio app, brilliant, and that's what I've been using at the moment to sort of track analytics from my new little side venture is YouTube based as well. So I definitely see it. It provides a nice amount of feedback. Like TikTok has a little bit. Instagram, I get nothing from, and that could just be me. That's very well could be the issue of me, but I find it quite secretive in a way. Like I'm not sure. Like YouTube, for instance, gives me age, gender, location, watch rate, where they dipped out, where the spikes come in, like what was a good click ratio, and so on from that. And I only have, I think I have 15 videos on there at the moment. And still, like, I also think you can see YouTube's slow progression through your videos, especially over your watch time. As we discussed before this, like you can see your watch time move around and sort of jump a little bit. Again, analytics are all great if you do something with them. If not, they're useless. But I'm definitely I'm excited for my adventures on YouTube this year as well. But you're right. So one of my goals, and arguably pushed it into becoming your goal as well, is I want to get 30 episodes out this year for like the podcast. But I think that's a good idea of input rather than output because it's a controllable. We had this discussion about like fitness and image and stuff like that. Like if it's a metric you can control, then you can make it to what your goal is. It's just how much effort you want to put in for it and how much spoons you have, I guess, to or capacity to bleed into it.
Little bit of a sidebar. Do you have the YouTube Studio app on your phone?
Yes.
Because you get like essentially a Spotify rap like type of deal like every week.
Hold up whilst I pick up my phone off the ground.
Which I think is super sick, and it'll give you. It always hits me with a little quiz of like, which of these 3 videos do you think was your top performing video this week?
Is it? This can be completely off camera, but is it? Do you have to search for it, or does it just come up on your?
It usually just comes up. I think I usually get a notification for it on like a Monday maybe, and I click on it and it pops up.
Might have to look into that.
But like Instagram doesn't do that. It's just a secret. It's like this video bombed, this video didn't.
Yeah, the last post I made, I got a notification saying I got 80 likes. From who? From where? Did it come in? Because it was a collab post. So like, did it come in from somewhere? Was it 80 people that follow me? Was it 10 of them and 70 of someone else? Like, how do I know where to market or push to?
Do you have a professional account on Instagram? Probably. I'm going to say no.
Look, have you met me?
Not a professional. So you have to set up as a professional account on Instagram to get proper analytics, and they do give you okay analytics, but they're usually like a few days behind, and it's just not. I don't know. I never find it super useful. I really like on YouTube. Whenever you post a video, it'll give you like a 1 through 10 score. So I'm not 100% sure what it's based on, but it's essentially based on the performance of your video. So if you get a 10 out of 10, that's the worst ranked video that you've posted out of your last 10 posts. And then 1 out of 10 is obviously the best. So it's like a ranking.
Yeah, okay. And so that'll do the 10 across like everything you've posted?
I believe it's just the last 10 things you've posted.
Yeah, okay.
I just pulled it up on my laptop and it didn't really.
Whilst you have a hunt for that real quick, on the topic of bombed goals, I know that I spoke a bit about the game design I was doing. That was a bombed one. I say bomb. Bomb sounds so negative. I realized that it required me not to have anything else in the works because it required a lot of time from me, and I just didn't have that. So that definitely got pushed out. I still have everything from it. It's just sitting on the side at the moment. I feel like, and we talk a little bit on taking stock of what's worth it and what's not, and that was just one of those things that hit. And sometimes, like, as we had a whole episode on taking stock of friends and people, and sometimes they're not worth it either, like for lack of a better term.
So I couldn't really find what I was after on the app either, but anyway, you get the YouTube has like a ranking system, just shows you. So when you post something, you know whether it's performing or not. If you get a 10 out of 10, it's the worst performing one out of your last 10. You know to switch it up.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, that'd be sort of helpful if you try a couple different things to sort of see where you can hone it in, I guess. But outside of the pod, have you got any other goals or witcheries happening?
I haven't really locked anything down. They're all kind of conceptual at the moment about I want stuff to be input based, not output based, just so I actually have control of the work that I put into it instead of me putting in the work. There's some magic filter in the middle being Instagram's algorithm, and then on the other side of that is the goal, I guess. So really bringing that back to the goal being based around me performing an action. So I think a lot of it is going to be based around my personal content, demo content, obviously the podcast, and just being able to just move through stuff and actually have control over the numbers that I'm hitting.
Yeah, I find that is like a safer analytics probably not the word there. That's a safer metric to work from is a goal that measures your like level rather than of like what you're putting forward rather than what could magically happen or not. Like, because if my goal was I would like a stranger to give me $100, like there's a chance I may never get that. And probably rightly so, I shouldn't get that. Rightly so, I shouldn't get that. So yeah, I very much agree of a goal-based system of what you can put, because then it's your control. It's all you. Do you have anything that's not business-related goals this year? Like, do you want to go anywhere? Do you want to do anything?
Not really. I feel like I get very one-track minded with just businessy stuff in general. Is that consumes so much of my brain power, and it's because I love it and it's fun and that's like what I'm interested in. But
I said I want to do an episode on this at some point, but that I reckon that is a direct correlation to the lonely phase, which I would like to do a whole talk on it, because I feel like, and we have sort of differing sides of the exact same place as well, and it comes in all sorts of different waves and so on, and because it is arguably subjective to point of view, everyone would have a different like take on it as well. But like for those that are unsure, the lonely phase. How can I explain it?
I love the term no man's land, which I know a lot of dudes like Andy Frisella, maybe even Jocko calls it that as well. But It's basically the space in between tiers of friends. So your bottom tier of friend might be like the stereotypical like drinking buddy, and then as you kind of I guess start to get your own life together, you know, just begin to compress. That's not the word I was looking for. Continue to progress. I guess they're the friends that are like, oh, the old you would have come out drinking, or you know, oh, you think you're so good starting this thing, or what do you think you're this business guy now, whatever. It's that space when you escape those friends, but you haven't progressed enough to get the new business friends. And if you continue to progress, you'll go through this again and again and again. You'll outgrow your like small town local business friends, and then you know you'll continue to progress. But it's not a linear progression. You have to go between the steps.
Yeah, I like to call it like season 1 people, season 2 people, because it's your story, so it constantly evolves with you, and sometimes you're fortunate enough to grow into the next season. Sometimes you're not, and you're stuck at that. You get held back, as you've mentioned before. Pardon me, but yeah, I used to be so scared of the lonely phase. It was always just like because it can very quickly be damaging, but I believe it has to be, because if it wasn't, then it wouldn't be a deterrent. And anything that's a deterrent is a good use of growth.
It's a bit of a filter as well of like, because you can't have everyone be Elon Musk.
Yeah.
For example, maybe not a good example, but there has to be some sort of filter. And the filter for some people is just going to be someone going, or the old you would have come out drinking. And that's it. That's the filter that stops them from progressing. But yeah, I think that we can bang out a whole episode on that. I think.
I'm just when I was like, oh, this is going to be the episode. Yeah, definitely.
But I think as well, two things. People get real scared of the gap, but people also get real scared to let go of old people or old habits or old ways. And they're the two filters essentially.
But that's that I'm fortunate enough that I've gone through it enough now that it excites me. Like I get all like jittery about it, because that's the exciting part. Of the let go, like that's the test. If you have to let go of whatever it is, man. Sometimes friends, sometimes it's small things, sometimes it's a hobby. Like it could be you have to let go and just trust the process. Anyway, holy crap, we will not shut up. This will be the longest episode ever if we keep this up. Give me more of this year's woos.
This is stuff that I have touched on already since we've been back. But I think really for me, I hate the term balance, because it gets such a bad rap in like hustle culture, as like toxic as I think hustle culture can be. But this concept of balance gets such a bad rap, and typically I guess the criticism that it gets is that if you truly want to be successful, you have to forego balance to be able to pursue that. And I think there is some truth to that, but I think for me, I tend to take those things to the extreme, where I will go, if I run with the concept of I have to forego balance to be successful. Are you echoing in your ears?
No.
My echo is horrible. I can barely. I'm going to ditch the headphones.
Yeah.
That's so much.
Sometimes things don't go to plan.
Holy dooly. My echo of my own voice in my head was tripping me up.
Whilst we're talking about this, I just want to show a cheat for everyone. I'm not actually plugged in. I'm just wearing them because your voice to me was super loud, so I just pulled it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Let's go. Yeah.
headphone.
Let's freestyle this one.
Headphones off apparently.
It feels breezy. Freedom. Please
There's a
carry on.
small part of me that is immediately stressed that we just have no audio.
We'll find out.
Anyway, we'll find out if the episode doesn't go up. We had no audio. Oh man, I feel like I can speak now. Holy hell! All right. I tend to take, particularly things like this, I tend to take it to the extreme. So if I run with the concept that I have to forego balance to be successful, I will just immediately run myself into the ground. Like in a matter of weeks, I'll be like just a skeleton on the floor.
Why?
Because every moment that I have where I go, I need to, there is...
You're teetering.
There is no balance. So I just go full one end and just go, I'll sleep when I'm dead. And then I'll be dead real quick.
Yeah, you go into the I can't balance it, so I'm a bomb it mentality.
Yeah, I just take it, I tend to take things like this too far. And in the episode where we spoke about books that we liked, I cautioned people with extreme ownership because I took that book too far. Yes, it's called extreme ownership. Probably doesn't need to be as extreme as I took it. I don't need to take so much responsibility. I understand where the concept of foregoing balance for success stems from, because most people that aren't crazy probably lean to the other end where they're like, oh, but I just want to watch Netflix. So I'll do it tomorrow type,
Interesting, because to me that is I see it as similar to the Netflix side, but I need to save so I can put in this new order for sleeper or something like that. So my balance is actually, maybe I lean more towards you. My balance is you're eating noodles now. Don't do any. Okay, maybe I'm never mind. Oh, nearly slipped up on the swear jar. I didn't swear. But yeah, so maybe I have that problem too then, and I just thought I was different, but I'm just as weird.
Yeah, and I think it's a bit of a trait of ambitious people, particularly people that action their ambition. Because I think a lot of people are ambitious but don't action it, and I think that's the people that need the forego balance for your success. I think they're the type of people that need that type of push, where I need the push to allow myself a little bit of balance and make rest a priority when I am fatigued, so that I can actually operate and execute at the level that I'm capable of, instead of just running at 10% because I've ran myself into the ground.
Yeah, and we've seen you do that recently. I did it a while ago as well, but yeah, that's I'm still a little caught up on the fact that I was like, oh no, balance only means excess. For me, it's for me, in my head, I was like, balance only means excess. So don't overdo that. And then in going to give you an example of something I've done, it was me overdoing something. I'll just shut the hell up, apparently. But no, there's certain words that I feel not only can easily be lost, like balance, because it's saying that you could just easily sweep under the rug, but has quite a dangerous impact.
It's quite nuanced as well, I think. Is that, for some people, yeah, balance could be a negative thing. And for me, it's something that I need. And I almost, it has in my mind anyway, it has such a negative connotation with it that I'm almost embarrassed to be my goal this year is to be more balanced, because I hate that. I hate to me, that's don't chase your dreams, just let yourself chill. But I go too far in the other direction, where I just burn the candle at both ends and then crash and burn. And then it takes me 2 weeks to recover, and then I start again.
Do you think that is why you potentially don't like this conversation, because you hold embarrassment to it?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And I hate the association that I have in my own head of what Well, I think it's my perspective of what your typical person would call balance. I think I have like a resistance to that because I just have like this resistance to be typical.
Two things here. One's going to be real short. What I've enjoyed very much about the pod. There's two things, probably three, but I will say two for now. One, and probably my most important, is you and I stumbled across some like hard hitting facts of ourselves through it and like learn some stuff. And two is when other people can't like reach out and they were like, I didn't even think of that, and I do that too. And like we all learn something from it. That's pretty cool. But on that, because you like your embarrassment to say balance, when I try and lock down for things, I have, for those that know me, like food is always a big thing. Like I've spoken about it heaps. But so if someone's like, "Oh, do you want to go get like some food?" and just say, I'm saving," I feel embarrassed to say like, "No, I can't afford it this week," even though like because there's two types of brokes. There's broke, and then there's I'm saving broke. And I think that's the best broke to be, really. But like, I'm too embarrassed to be like, I can't go do that. Kurt hit me up on the weekend and was like, let's go do this thing. But I'm saving, and I didn't want to be like, I can't afford to do it type thing for two reasons. One, I don't want anyone to be like, well, I'll pay for you. Be like, no, because like I have money, I just don't want to spend money. So I get real sticky on it. Even trying to say it out, I'm feeling like I'm like retracting myself. But so I just shut down from that. I just won't reply to you. I'll just ghost the heck out of you because I'm too embarrassed to like say I can't afford something because I'm trying to save for something else or whatnot. As you've been in the drive-through when I've done $150 Macca's order before, like if it's just for some reason though, when I am trying to achieve something and it requires me to hold back from something, I'm embarrassed to say it.
Yeah, I have definitely like had that feeling as well where I don't want to be like, oh no, like, yeah, there's something about I don't want other people to think that like I don't have the money to do it. I don't know. And I don't know what, there's obviously some like, I'm probably more embarrassed about that than I should be. And I think because I take a lot of pride in the fact that like I manage my money quite well. So to me, it would be embarrassing if I was like, oh, I can't afford to get lunch today.
Yeah. And like money and food was the first one that came to me, but I think it's like I'm embarrassed to tell people I'm doing something. You and I, before this, I said I was going to talk about one of my goals, and I've completely dodged it altogether because I'm embarrassed to say it. Like, though it's something like one-on-one, was happy to, like, I'm proud to share with you, but like then get like real sticky about opening up to things. I feel like maybe, yeah, I don't know why I have an embarrassment about potentially the self, what is the word here?
Like the self-criticism?
No, the opposite of that, where you are good at self-promotion. I am real sticky with self-promotion, and I don't know why, because I see people that aren't, and I'm proud as punch for them. And I'm like, man, I wish I had that skill. I wish I'll go talk to anyone about anything, will not be able to be like, hey, guys, I'm doing this thing. If you would like to look at this, this is, no, disgusting.
So when I started Demo, I have a story. This is story time. When I started Demo, which is my videography business for people that I guess don't know what Demo is. When I started that, there was absolutely no way you would have been able to tell if you found the Demo Instagram account. There's no way that you would have been able to tell that it was mine. There was no connection to my personal account. My personal account had I didn't have it in my bio. I didn't have it in anything. Like, I was so embarrassed that I was starting this thing that it got to the point that I had to put in the Demo account, I had to put like buy and then my personal account because everyone thought it was your account. because you were telling everyone about it and I didn't want, I was too nervous to like, I was so embarrassed that like I was doing something. And I think a lot of us like ambitious types are insecure overachievers. And I had a message about this last week after the last episode, someone reaching out being like, kind of just saying like, oh, like there's so much of this stuff that I relate to that I've kind of never been able, well, I've never had the conversation. Like they've never opened up about this to like the people around them and stuff. And I think that's the case for so many of us that I guess are the ambitious type, that we're very insecure about it. We're all insecure overachievers, I think.
Yeah, it's so easy to be delicate about your craft and like sensitive about it. So because like take the demo for instance, I was a massive like promoter for it because it wasn't mine, and I was like, yeah, I'm keen to see my mate do something. So I was feeding. I would just go up to randoms like, want to film a clip? Like I was all for it. But like someone recognizes me for the pod, shut down, man, shut down completely. Like people be like, I have like good mates that'll be like, I'm keen to get on some sleep or something. Shut down completely. For my own stuff, gone. Won't. No. My only thing is that all pretty much across everything now, my name is the same for everything, because I've had someone that's found like the YouTube stuff and they were like, oh, like this immediately, but shut down, and it was via a message, but it was because they like just tracked through everything that was happening. But even when I was like streaming all the time, which has taken a back seat, purely just because I find I can use that time better now. Streaming was more fun than I feel constructive. But even when I was doing that and people like watch your socials and stuff, like, nah, it's good. It's good. Yeah. I don't know why. I also, whilst we're on this, I won't post my own photos. You post a photo, but share the hell out of that. I put one on my story just before, but man, I won't put anything up of myself.
I get so sticky, even though it's part of all of the goals that I like all of the stuff that I want to pursue this year. It's kind of based around YouTube and all that stuff. I get so sticky whenever I make a YouTube video and post it. The argument that I have with myself to post a link on my story just to push people to dude, it's horrible.
I would rather shit in my hands and clap than post a link to my YouTube. And I'm very proud of my YouTube. I think that doing a great job with it. I refuse to mention the name publicly.
So because Alex isn't going to mention it,
I literally started to sweat.
And because I'm a bit weird about mine as well, the link to both of our YouTube channels is going to be in the description. I'm going to have to find yours because I don't even know what it is.
I promise you, I literally just felt my body sweat as soon as you started to say that. Also, what a weird timing. If for anyone that's doing like YouTube's, Instagram, maybe not, but let's just go with YouTube. Their scheduling is really good. So you can upload multiple videos and just set up like a really nice scheduling for it. One of my videos just posted right now as I just got the message for it to say that it's scheduled out. Again, YouTube they have a lot more handy tools for their creators. It's so much better. I also have very little to go off because that's really like my main focus now. But if other places were easier, I feel like more people would do it. TikTok's quite easy, but I'm just not sure what you do with it all. Like, what do you... I'm not dancing in front of a camera.
I'm still a bit like, yeah, I guess I don't know what to do with TikTok. I have kind of, as of recently, my personal TikTok is just all of my mountain bike content, to be honest, because none of my like riding content ever did that good on Instagram. A lot more of my, I guess like behind the scenes of me videoing, I don't know, just like more me focused stuff has done better on Instagram. And a lot of my writing has done better on TikTok. So it's kind of just naturally progressed that way. And maybe I'll keep TikTok around just for that. But like, yeah, I kind of don't really know. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't really use TikTok either, so like I'm not really in that world much.
For creators that make things of length, I feel like TikTok is hard because we feature length, where stories there's a whole lot in there. TikTok is very good for those like one word things or those small sentence caption, just the crash, not the whole build up. Like like that small attention. I don't mean that in a negative way, mate. Look at my screen time on TikTok every week. I'm involved in it, but that like small little build up. I go to TikTok for reviews now because I like a quicker. I don't like this part. I like this part, where I can get that a lot quicker. If I want a full build video or anything, I like to build computers in my spare time. But if I want like a full build review on something, I'll go to like a YouTube for it and stuff. Something that you said quite some time ago, episode 7. I just made that up, but it's in an episode, has been resonating with me lately as I look for different products and different avenues to venture down on. I mean, like even like Sleeper's next drop and so on from that, is that I found myself looking for the right answer, and there is no right answer for it. But again, we're trained on this yes or no. And I'm like, what is the best? And then there's 45 people saying they're the best. There's 100 number ones, like world's number one or top 1%, all that stuff. So, like,
it's not about making the right decision. It's about making the decision right.
Yeah, thank you. And that's been resonating with me for a bit lately because, like, as I'm going through like purchasing stuff as well, so on.
Yeah, I still need to remind myself of that quite often. Like, it's about making the decision right. Before we progress too far along, while we're talking about like being kind of embarrassed of starting stuff or anything like that, I saw a quote just before we started the podcast, and I just chucked it in my notes in case it kind of became relevant. But the quote is, "The loudest boo comes from the cheapest seats."
You read that to me, and we both applauded, and then I forgot completely about it. I enjoy that, and very much so. Like, yeah, it's the. I said we were going to clean this up and be nicer this year, but it is the underachievers. I like to call them bottom feeders because someone has to feed from the bottom. The shit in the tank has to be cleaned from somewhere, right? Not all fish get to swim at the top. Some of us are snails, right? But generally, it's the shit filters are the ones that are screaming the most. Don't be a shit filter, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. I don't have anything else to say. I don't know why I started talking and then took the camera away from you. Go ahead. Do you have anything? Have we just fully stalled out?
No. I just wanted to hold the camera on you. For those that don't know about how the cameras work, so it's I just want to touch on this. It is whoever is talking. There we have like a sound like radius on it, and whoever can peak that sound radius, regardless of who's talking, can then take focus off either camera that's in the room. Quite a fun feat if anyone's looking at setting up an automated camera switch and stuff for their own ventures or podcasts or whatnot. I definitely recommend. Do not contact me for help because I've raged so much at it. But it is pretty cool. It's fun to do. But that's why I was quiet there. If anyone's, I just want to keep the camera on Jack and leave him be awkward. We didn't really at all touch on anything of goals, so I'm gonna just start rapid fire. 30 videos for the 30 pods I would like to do this year. I would like to get at least 5 guests this year. No idea who they are. I have a few, but it's just when time sits. It'll also depend on studio arrangements and stuff like that. I want to do 30 YouTubes as well. Like to get that going, and that's under steam quite well. And I three sleeper drops this year. That's all. That is the only thing Sleeper is doing this year is 3 drops. You're either in it or you're not. I don't care. 3 drops. That is it.
Nice. I definitely need to get some metrics together for myself. I think probably a reasonable goal for me is probably to do 12 YouTube videos, so one a month. I feel like is pretty reasonable kind of target for me. The way that I drop my YouTube videos, I kind of do 2 at a time. So it's not going to be like every single like month they're going to be spaced out, but averaged over the year, I think that's pretty good. That's I think probably where that's going to sit. These goals may be refined, may change due to whatever.
Subject to T's and C's may apply.
Correct. And I want to. I did want to get over to some more Crankworks events. It's probably not going to work out this year. I'm going to be back at Cairns for Crankworks, which is super sick. Sneeze, do it.
No, I'm not. I've needed to sneeze for some time now, and I'm like trying to hover away from the mic.
So yeah, Crankworks is back on the cards. I just want to make cool stuff. Is most of it. I'm rambling.
No, I'm with you because mine is I want to make cool stuff as well. And I just want it to be enjoyable. So,
enjoyment is big for me this year.
Yeah, very much so. Very much. I don't know where I lost it last year, but I did fumbled the enjoyment somewhere in there. Fumbled it and then probably kicked it a couple of times whilst it was down. So I'd rather not do that. And we've been working quite hard on a lot of things to alleviate bullshit between them. Of like, how can we take pressures away from things? How can we smoothen things out?
How do we just reduce friction? Which is the whole point of how we've set up the podcast now. It was a lot of friction to begin with, but now the episodes are fairly frictionless to record. The recording is easy. Me trying to say stuff is still not easy.
We'll work on that.
We'll work on it. I just thought of another goal for myself. I also want to do, even though the target is to do 3 drops for Sleeper, I want to do a shoot for Sleeper once a month. So we can just shoot a bunch of content, just do 1 content day a month, and then I'll just like roll out content throughout the month for it.
That's so easy. All you need to do is tell me, hey, this weekend can we do Sleeper? And I will arrange the people, I will arrange the goods, and we will go do Sleeper. Also, I was thinking on the way home from the gym today, you have a video of Sleeper that we've been meaning to drop for ages, the full stack video.
It all kind of came out horrible, to be honest. That was the first time I'd filmed.
I just swore, shit. Another $10 in.
That was the first time I'd filmed in a gym. And I just cooked it, to be honest.
Oh yeah, I've been there heaps. Okay. Well, let's do that because I'll happily get some models together. I have a few, and I would be keen to do. Right, let's be real. I don't do any of Sleeper's social stuff. I do some of the lives and like the story responses and stuff, but outside of that, zero. So I'm keen to do more in that realm as well.
I would love to kind of treat Sleeper as if it was a client of demos that has like a monthly deliverable. Like we do 1 shoot day a month and then like these are the deliverables for the month. Purely as like a practice run for me because they're the type of clients that I would love to start picking up where we have like a, ongoing like monthly thing.
Roll that out.
Sick. Let's do that.
So this is what I like about these chats. Set a catalog of what your deliverables are for it, and let's just book it in. And I'll start scheduling people for it now. Let's roll that out. And that'll work for the 3 drops because how I want to structure the 3 drops. I think we spoke about this, or maybe I had the conversation with you and I in my head. But like a 2-week lead up of this is what it is, goes on sale for 1 week, you never see it again. Bam. And sort of mix it with temperatures. So like we sort of know what the next one's going to be. I've been in talks with a few different manufacturers about stuff as well and just trying to lead stuff in. It might be like large things, like one of them's going to be a full up and down. Some might be very small things, you know, but that's what I want it to, the discerning few.
Yeah, sick. All right, I'm keen for that. Let's
I love how this turned into just a business meet for you and I.
welcome to our business meeting. Okay, let's organize dates because we're nearly at the end of January. Let's organize dates for a shoot.
Your birthday next week, isn't it?
Yep.
Heard it here first, guys. Do you have anything else to add before we? I want to do a full episode on the lonely stage. That'll be a good one.
So I want to do a full episode where I know what I'm talking about. That's my goal for this year. Not going to happen.
Not anytime soon.
Anyway, you got anything else? We wrapping up.
Wrap it up.
Let's do it. How do I do my outro? If you enjoyed this episode, give us a share. It helps out a bunch. We're kind of trying to gain a bit of momentum again from our hiatus. So if you give us a share, helps out a whole lot. Like, comment, do the things. We'll see you next week at this rate. We're doing well with the weekly uploads. I'm calling it now. We're going to miss one.
All right. Love yous. Bye.